Hey there, vinyl community. It's Joel coming at you from Planet 13, and this is my Who's Your Eddie contest entry for Darcy 6 Strings and 9 Lives contest. Basically, it's a contest where you show 6 of your favorite Eddie portraits, which might be on an album cover or a poster or a drawing, whatever. And it's a pretty cool contest. I like some points that Darcy brought up in that Maiden is a marketing machine. I never thought of that before, and I don't think I equated the two, even though it makes total sense now, in that Maiden never really had many radio hits where I live. I know Darcy's in Canada as well. I don't know if it's different where you are, Darcy. I'm in Hamilton, Ontario. I know you're more out west in Saskatchewan, I believe. And up here in Canada, in Hamilton, you never really heard Maiden, uh, other than on one station at a St. Catharines. I would hear it, but that was much later in my life, in my 20s. And how I got exposed to Maiden was more at the country fair, where I'd see this picture of Eddie on posters. And because they'd sell these posters in the Midway where the rides are. And I just thought it was like the coolest thing ever. You know, you'd see the Power Slave poster, you'd see the Killers poster. And that was just my goal in life, is to get one of those posters. Or a t-shirt too, they'd sell t-shirts. I never had any money to buy that stuff because I'd be pretty young. And then later on, when I was probably 13, we got Much Music, which you probably had too. And you had the Power Hour and the Power 30. And they showed a lot of Maiden videos on there. And that's so I saw the marketing, and I was more into Maiden before I even heard the music. And in fact, in grade 6, we had like a mandatory pottery class. And all us guys went to the fair, young guys, and we saw these like Maiden posters and stuff. And we all came back and made our own like Eddie sculptures. And we never even heard the music before. My brother did have Number of the Beast album, but I was never really into that album cover. I don't know why. I'm more of, I guess I'll start with showing off my albums. I was always enamored with The Killer. That's probably my number one favorite portrait of Eddie. And I didn't have this album until this year. I had it down on a t-shirt, this portrait. But I didn't have this album until this year because I heard Bruce didn't sing on this, so I never picked it up. I was always Team Bruce, and I took me like 30 something years to hear this, and it's one of my favorite Maiden albums now. It's a pretty cool album. And then my second favorite album, this is a tour I did go to. Um, I like this portrait of Iron Maiden from I don't know, I can't think of the name right now. Matter of Life and Death. I always was fascinated with World War II and skeletons and stuff. So this is just straight into my wheelhouse here. I just think it's awesome. So that's my second favorite uh, portrayal of Eddie. I guess they're not my third favorite, but number 3 here is this portrait here of Stranger in a Strange Land, or Stranger in a Strange Land, and it's backed with That Girl by Maiden. And this kind of reminds me of Westworld and The Gunslinger by Stephen King, and then that cantina scene in Star Wars. It just kind of blends all three. And I don't know if Eddie's like a gunslinger or he's just a poker player or what's going on, bounty hunter. But that's a pretty cool album cover. And then this cover, Eddie's not really portrayed on it too much other than in a mirror. It's kind of reflective here. I apologize for that. I don't want to take the shrink wrap off, but it's this girl with some tarot cards, and there's a portrait of Eddie on the side here, and there's a little Mickey Mouse character there too. I don't think you can see him. And then she's picking up the death card, and then Eddie's in the background. I just thought this was cool. Kind of reminds me of like a 70s pulp horror fiction cover, like you'd see on The Exorcist or Rosemary's Baby or a bunch of other books that were popular at the time. I just think it's a really cool cover. Darcy, you mentioned this one, and it's Aces High. Again, you got the World War II kind of skeleton Eddie here. I think that's really cool. And then finally, I just like this one of Running Free with Eddie in the background here. He just looks all sinister and stuff. So those are my top 6 favorites. My favorite album cover, though, has got to be Power Slave. I just love that album cover. Anyway, if you haven't entered Darcy's contest and you're a Maiden fan, go do it, man, because it's a really cool contest. I tend not to enter contests. It's not that I don't want to. It's just I don't have a lot of material half the time, or I just don't want to take other people's money. But I really do want to fill out my maiden collection, so it'd be sweet winning that 35 Canadian dollars. Really like to pick up Power Slave. Um, and if you haven't checked out Darcy's channel, do check it out too. It's awesome. Darcy's got 500 plus subscribers right now. He's well on his way to 1,000 or more. He covers a lot of cool stuff. He recently did an Accept video spotlight. He picked up the Motorhead Warheads on Foreheads album, which looked really cool. And he's been covering Testament and Megadeth and all sorts of cool stuff. And he's got a really good perspective on music. And he just doesn't do heavy music. He does like all sorts of stuff. So check out Darcy's channel below. I'll leave a link. And thank you, Darcy, for having this contest. This contest really excited me. It's right in my wheelhouse, like I said before. I love talking about Maiden. I don't have any friends right now who listen to Maiden other than the vinyl community out there. So thanks again. Cheers.